Alright, today I am going to start up and fly and get some familiarization with the F-86F Saber Jet that I picked up during the autumn sale. This is the Massachusetts Air National Guard livery that actually belongs on an F-86H Saber Jet, which is not represented in this game, but I chose this anyways because I am currently helping a local air combat museum restore an F-86H Saber Jet that was part of the Massachusetts Air Guard. And so our livery, when we get done restoring the aircraft and painting it, will be this. We're going to paint it just like this, as it was in Massachusetts Air Guard, with the exception of it's not going to be bare metal. We elected to paint it a gray or silver for the purposes of protecting it from corrosion. Anyways, I've got a flap to one of these is in my garage right now that I'm doing some sheet metal repairs on. And when I'm done with that, I'll take it back to the museum and we'll get it on the airplane. But anyways, I'm going to get in it, get this thing started up, and see how much of a handicap I have versus being spoiled by flying modern aircraft like the Viper.
Rearming complete. Ground power is now on.
Alright, after my screwed up start, we're going to try this again. So wait for ground power to be on. Which we have. Okay. Here we go. Let's try this again. That's looking like a good start. Don't really hear the engine start noise with an open canopy like you think you would. Alright, we go to idle. I'm not used to having very low percentage, but looks like we were about 8 and over the gate, as is typical. And let off the starter at about 20 some odd percent. It's about typical for real airplanes. Alright, I think we're at a good start. Yep, doors are up.
Chief, turn off the ground power.
Chief, this.
Copy. Ground power is now off.
Alright. Let's go ahead and close this canopy. There. Pretty simple. Let's say this must be our takeoff position for flaps. QFE is set. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than this other than radio. Getting the radio on and
Engage targets of opportunity.
Go down to the 124.8. I'm not quite sure how to adjust those and set those. I'll have to do some reading on that. I mean, I think I'm doing pretty good just to get the thing started. So that's pretty much it. No other avionics to turn on and heat up. The engines are up and running. And yeah, other than turning on the old A4, you don't need guns armed here. Before you can actually leave it off till you know you're going to be into combat, which I'm not going to be doing. I'm just going to be flying around, so getting used to how this plane handles. So let's go ahead and get some external lights going there. Let's see, we're at about, what, 20 feet, if that. So, maybe. Airspeed indicator, or Mach meter. Radio compass, voltage good, clock good. Hydraulic pressure in the green. Climb and dive. Fuel flow's looking pretty good. Fuel quantity, we're okay. Exhaust temp in the green. And yeah, oil pressure. I'm not sure why our oil pressure's just low. That's all. Just low. One of the things about this airplane I've seen is you gotta put some RPM into it to get her to roll. And you've got to hold the nose wheel steering button. Down. And you've got to correct the steering. It doesn't auto center when you let off, like the Viper does, or seems to, with nose wheel steering. You have to correct it. Looks like I can taxi to the runway here. I mean, this thing feels a lot heavier to roll than even the F-16 when it's fully loaded. But I don't want to get it taxiing too fast, so I'm just gonna stay right where I'm at about 80%. It's a bit of a crawl for steering, but it allows to compensate for errors. That's about all you want. Wheel brakes. See? She slows down real quick. I think I'm going to need all this runway to get airborne too. Alright. Alright, letting off nose wheel steering, and we're going to use rudder to keep us straight. I let the engine spool up before I started. I let off the brakes. Airspeed's picking up. Come on. Come on. Get airborne. Get airborne. There she goes. Porpoising. Porpoising. We'll say this, she needs a big runway. And lots of trim. Let's get that flap lever up so we can get our airspeed going. It's going to adjust our trim some more. One thing that doesn't sit well with me is the way the seat is in the cockpit. I mean, you're forward. I'm used to having a decent forward vision. Forward vision's kind of limited. I feel like I'm sitting really low in this thing. Let's bring that throttle back to the green. Because we are airborne now. Yeah, just a skosh. I do like that the throttle holds its position very well compared to some other aircraft. There she is. Old smoky old Cold War aircraft.